By paying the affordable annual membership fee, a savvy shopper can have access to unbelievably good deals at Sam's Club. But not everything is as good of a deal as it seems. Here's what you should buy at Sam's Club and what you should skip. If you're the kind of person who eats your 3 square meals a day and doesn't need anything else after that, then you likely won't think it's worth it to snag packaged snacks at the local store. But if you have kids or just like to have snacks on hand that are always ready for on-the-go adventures, then buying bulk packaged snacks at Sam's Club is a great idea. Most snacks don't go bad quickly, which means that you can keep them in your pantry for a long time without having to worry about the expiration date. Business Insider did the math to show that shopping for snacks at Sam's tends to be less expensive than getting the exact same items at another grocery store. Of course, you may have to hide those snacks if you don't want them flying off the pantry shelves the week after you buy them. You may think that Sam's Club is a great place to buy something like toilet paper, but that's actually not the case. In fact, the majority of the time, it's going to be way more cost-effective to buy toilet paper at your local grocery store. That's a relief, honestly, considering you probably don't want to have to go to Sam's Club every time you need to re-up on your toilet paper supply.
Toilet paper? Toilet paper? Toilet paper? Toilet paper? Toilet paper?
That said, you do have to pay attention to get the best deal here. Keep an eye on the toilet paper section at your local grocery store to get an idea of when the products are going on sale. That way you can snag your TP for a decent price without even having to go out of your way. If you're a hardcore sparkling water addict, you're likely well acquainted with the brand LaCroix. It's one of the most celebrated sparkling water brands out there because of its interesting flavors and quirky aesthetic. And that comes as no surprise when you take a look at all the different flavors that are available. And if you tend to buy this beverage in bulk, Sam's Club is a great place to snag it. That's because you can get a ton of cans in one purchase, way more than you'll get in a box you'd find at the grocery store. Plus, when you buy at Sam's Club, you know the price point is going to be excellent too. There are some foods where you'd be well served to keep it in the house on a regular basis. However, there are other foods that you shouldn't keep stocked in the back of your fridge or freezer. One such example, Totino's pizza rolls. First of all, these things are simply not good for you, and face it, you're going to eat way more than the recommended serving size anyway. They can't replace a meal after all, and a handful of these is not going to be a satisfying snack. Plus, when you buy from Sam's Club, you'll have even more to finish once they get in your freezer. If you want to cut back on the unhealthy snacks, buying these from Sam's Club is certainly not the way to do it. If you're looking for great products and great prices, then the Sam's Club Bakery is the place to be. What should you pick up when you get there? The Members Club Chocolate Chunk Cookies are a fine place to start. These cookies have super high ratings on Sam's Club's website, so you know they're good. And while they are delicious plain, they taste even better when you warm them up just a bit in your oven, air fryer, or microwave. These cookies can offer just the pick-me-up you need for the day. Buying in bulk can be good, but there are some items that it's pretty difficult to work through because of their shelf life. Sunscreen, which often comes with a long-term expiration date according to Consumer Reports, is one of them. Sure, you can probably finish a normal bottle of sunscreen in one summer, but unless you have a ton of people in your home, you're probably not going to go through a huge container of it in a single season. That's why a giant Sam's Club-sized bottle might not be such a great purchase after all. Sunscreen, especially if you're getting the high-quality kind, can be expensive. So you don't want to throw your money away by tossing the unused stuff at the end of the season. If you love drinking smoothies, keeping frozen fruits in your freezer is a perfect idea. That way, you'll be able to make a smoothie whenever you feel like one. Therefore, you may want to pick up a bag of the Members Mark Organic Triple Berry Blend you'll find at Sam's Club. 4 whole pounds of berries can make a whole bunch of smoothies. And frozen fruit can last in your fridge for a while, too, so you don't have to use up all of them in a week to get your money's worth. Some people have large families, and so they tend to go through produce pretty regularly. Sure, if you're feeding several people, then you may not mind buying your produce at Sam's Club. But for everyone else, purchasing fresh produce from warehouse stores is very seldom a good idea. That's because, according to Kiplinger, produce at places like Sam's Club is often sold in bulk, leaving you with an ungodly amount of produce. There's a good chance that you're not going to eat that much of one type of veggie or fruit before it goes bad, so these purchases usually don't make that much sense. Luckily, you can always look for produce that's on sale at your local grocery store. If you choose carefully, you can often find great prices at regular stores. If you want something nice, hot, and relatively healthy instead of fast food, then there is one item you have to pick up at Sam's Club: a rotisserie chicken. We love these pre-cooked chickens because they're so versatile. You can carve them and serve them as is, or you can pull the meat off the bone and use it in a variety of other dishes. Plus, the price on these chickens is usually pretty low, meaning you can get the bulk of your meal taken care of without cooking or breaking the bank. Who doesn't want to feed their family that easily? When it comes to the clothing sales at Sam's Club, you're better off looking the other way. While some of the products may seem like popular name brands, you should question why you're getting them at such a good price. There's a chance that the retailer is just trying to get rid of styles that would otherwise be deemed out of fashion. Of course, you may see a piece of clothing that you really love, and if that's the case, you shouldn't hesitate to buy it. But if you think you're going to walk through Sam's Club and find the hottest new styles, you're almost definitely going to be disappointed. Keep style in mind when you are perusing the clothes at this warehouse store. Don't just buy something because it's attached to a name brand. You may have heard of Costco's peanut butter-filled pretzels in the past, and once you taste them, it'll be clear why. But just because you don't have a Costco in your area doesn't mean you can't enjoy the same flavor. That's because the Members Mark peanut butter-filled pretzels taste almost identical. The salty, crunchy exterior mixes perfectly with the thick, creamy peanut butter center, resulting in a snack you won't be able to stop reaching for. When you first take a look at the Members Mark Franks in a basket, you might think they look delicious, but unfortunately they have a tendency to get dried out, which makes them less than appetizing. Plus, if you're watching what you eat and are trying to make healthier choices, you may not want to keep them in the freezer. According to the nutritional information, they aren't exactly the healthiest snack you can have on hand. Of course, it doesn't hurt to have a treat in your freezer from time to time, but one that takes up this much space? If there's one snack that most people are guaranteed to love that you can find at Sam's Club, it's the Members Mark Mountain Trek Mix. We love this trail mix because it has the perfect combination of healthier items like almonds and peanuts, but it also features colorful chocolate treats as well. Whether you actually pack some when you're hiking or you're just looking for something to put in your child's lunchbox, this is definitely a solid option. Plus, at a whopping 64 ounces, this bag of trail mix is not going to be used up anytime soon. Are you the kind of person who always needs their coffee before getting a head start on their day?
It's just my thing, because everybody knows I drink a lot of coffee, so the day can't start until I've had my jolt.
The best of us are, and we never want to run out of coffee at home. But don't let the fear of running out turn you into a coffee hoarder. Buying coffee in bulk isn't a great idea unless you know for a fact you're going to be able to drink it all before it goes stale. Plus, you don't get to try as many varieties of coffee if you shop this way. If you care about how your coffee actually tastes, you should just pick it up at a local store. It will taste better, so you'll enjoy it more. And maybe that means you'll drink less of it? It's worth a try anyway. Homemade spreads and dips are always the best, but that doesn't mean you necessarily have time to make them on a regular basis. After all, who has time to make what's essentially just a side? Therefore, when you pass the Members Mark Jalapeno Artichoke dip at Sam's Club, it may seem like a smart purchase. And you'd be right. If you're looking for a delicious dip to pair with chips, this purchase knocks it out of the park. It has the perfect amount of spiciness to keep you coming back for more, but not so much that it feels like your tongue is on fire. Plus, it saves you a lot of time in the process. Again, this one really depends on the size of your family or how many people you're feeding at your house on a regular basis. If there's one thing we know about Sam's Club, though, it's the fact that the store sells massive containers of condiments. Need ketchup, mustard, or mayo? It's likely to come in what seems like industrial-sized packaging. While that may be great for a massive cookout or a stupendously large household, it's probably not ideal for a smaller family. Condiments like ketchup and mayo don't last forever, so you don't want to buy more than you really need. Therefore, though you may feel like you're saving money when you buy these items at Sam's Club, you might spend more in the long run because you're throwing unused products away. One group of products that you can plan on keeping for a while is spices. A lot of the time, these spices aren't going to go bad all that quickly and can even sometimes be revived, so you don't have to worry about buying more at a time. This is especially true for spices you tend to use on a regular basis, like garlic or onion powder. And luckily, this is actually one of those products that can save you money when you buy it at Sam's Club. Plus, the Members Mark brand of spices is quite affordable, so you won't have to break the bank just to stock up your spice cabinet. There are lots of options here too, so don't be afraid to branch out and try something new. It's a great idea to keep a lot of different spices in your pantry because they allow you to switch up the flavor even if you're not using dramatically different ingredients each time you cook. Why not amp up that spice collection on your next trip to Sam's Club? Let's clarify something here. We're not saying that you shouldn't ever buy milk at Sam's Club. If you happen to be there and need milk at the time you're shopping, then go for it. What we mean is that you shouldn't go out of your way to buy milk at Sam's Club or any other warehouse store. Why? Because there's a good chance you're not even getting a better deal.
milk was a bad choice.
AARP has reported that warehouse clubs usually offer very similar prices to local grocery stores on some items, while others are a bit of a better deal, especially bought in bulk. Sometimes the savings are worth it, and sometimes you spend more money on gas getting to Sam's Club than you'll actually save from buying the product there. Ultimately, you don't have to worry about missing out on a deal just because you'd prefer to get your milk closer to home. We're huge fans of the Members Mark Tandoori-Style Naan bites that you'll find at Sam's Club. They're super puffy and fluffy, but since they're so small, they're not overly filling. You can pair these naan bites with quite a few different foods, too. They're perfect for lunch boxes or just keeping on the kitchen counter for whenever a snack craving strikes. When you add a little one to your family, you're so excited to get to know them, but you're probably stretched for time and money too. And once you have a kid, you'll realize just how much you end up spending on diapers. The cost can be staggering, so it's smart to cut back in whatever way you can. Some think that shopping for diapers at a warehouse store like Sam's Club is the right move, but it turns out that strategy isn't quite as effective as you might think. Kiplinger pointed out that you shouldn't just assume you're getting the best price at a place like Sam's Club. Big box stores often offer even better deals on disposable diapers, so you'll want to check individual prices before you decide where to buy. In February of 2019, Sam's Club made a big announcement. It would start carrying USDA prime beef. This is one of the highest standards of meat quality, so you know you can get amazing steaks from Sam's Club now. If you're looking for an amazing, juicy steak that you can throw on a grill, then visit the meat department at Sam's Club. Turns out, you have a lot of options when it comes to the kinds of steaks you can get from Sam's Club. If you love tender cuts, the tenderloin may just be the way to go. However, if you prefer a fattier cut with more marbling, a ribeye is a perfect choice. Don't be afraid to ask the butcher if you have any questions about what kind of steak you should take home with you, too. Have you ever seen those giant cans of beans, corn, peas, and other veggies at stores like Sam's Club? They're often on offer for fantastic prices, and when you see how much food is included in one can, it can feel like you're getting the best deal ever. But think about it for a minute here. Normal-sized cans were designed to hold a few servings. These larger cans hold more servings than most families can eat before the contents go bad. If you're having a barbecue and you need a lot of one item, go ahead and buy it canned at Sam's Club. But if you're just buying for yourself or your family, buying these kinds of bulked canned products generally isn't going to work for your budget or your meal plan. If you're not the kind of person who likes to make their own bread on the regular, your best option just might be to have Members Mark Yeast dinner rolls on deck. These rolls come in a large bag, so there is plenty to pass around. The best part is that they can be used in many applications. Whether you just want to serve a roll on the side of your meal or you want to make tiny sandwiches for your kids' lunches, these rolls are a great item to have on hand. Plus, your family is probably going to like them way more than a plain slice of bread. All too often, when you buy cereal at Sam's Club, you have to buy way too much of it. That's why we don't recommend purchasing bulk cereal from Sam's Club. First of all, you just don't get that much variety. Unless you always like eating the same thing, that's not ideal. When you buy smaller boxes of cereal, you get to choose many different varieties, so you're not always stuck with one kind. Plus, these boxes of cereal aren't as likely to go bad because they're easier to get through before that Best By date hits. But even worse is the fact that you can often get a better price for your cereal at a big box store. Check there first so you can get the variety and price you deserve. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more mashed videos about your favorite popular store products are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.